The #1 market for those vape pens are kids in junior high school. You have products over here with cartoon characters on them that are directly marketed to children. 9% of 8th graders say they've vaped in the past 30 days. 9% of 8th graders say they have vaped in the past 30 days. So here you have almost 60% of new marijuana users each year are under the age of 18. Now, how many of you remember that more doctors use Camels? Do you remember those ads? How many of you remember your dentist prefers Viceroys, right? So these were ads that were running in the 60s. You can look them up. In fact, most of you don't know this, but now that those are not allowed in the US, they've repurposed them, updated them, and they're running those ads in third world countries. So why did they do that? Because medical efficacy, right? If we can get medical efficacy, then people will go, oh, this is good for me. And there's a history here. We have, I have some slides in another presentation. Dr. Batty's asthma cigarettes that cure bronchial ails. Not recommended for children under 8 years of age, right? So that was the first step. Get it medically accepted. The second step was now create a new market that lasts a lifetime. 10 to 12-year-olds. Marijuana is marketing 8 to 12-year-olds. And I'll show you some slides in a minute that will show you that. And then, once you get that market, you have lifetime users, you normalize it, and now, so there's an ashtray on every coffee table. My dad was a Baptist preacher for most of my life, and when my mom's family came to visit, we had an ashtray on the coffee table. And let me tell you something, cigarettes were bad sin in my childhood. But when Uncle Chuck came to visit, there was a ashtray on the coffee table. So we normalized it. There were ashtrays everywhere in every restaurant. What's marijuana doing? Medical efficacy, marketing to children, normalization. Legalization is not about tax and regulate. It's about normalize so that we numb ourselves to it and everyone accepts it. Let's go to the next one. So these are ads that we see in Colorado. Here's one in the cannabis. Santa Claus, he's got little marijuana leaves falling out of his pack. Fred Flintstone up there is Yabba Dabba Do. Here you have an advertisement with Jimi Hendrix. This says 20% off everything with a student ID. Here's show your ski pass and receive a $1 joint. Let's go to the next one. Look at the candies, the fruity candies, lollipops, Nugtella. It's a marijuana version of Nutella. It's a ripoff. Klondike bars. Chronic is a brand of marijuana, and so this is marijuana ice cream. These are marijuana sodas right here, 4 servings per bottle. Let's go to the next one. Actually, go back, sorry. I thought there was another edible slide. So, okay, what I want to say about these candies, and you're going to hear this, so I want to tell you the truth. These gummy bears are a minimum of 4 servings of marijuana per gummy bear. So how many of you know a kid who will eat a quarter of a gummy bear and stop? Or an adult, okay? Well, these were such a problem, and we've had so many kids getting poisoned by these things and ending up in the emergency room, that we now passed a law that you can't have candy in the shape of people or animals, because that's attractive to children. Okay, so what about the candy ropes and the peach rings and the watermelon slices? Are those attractive to children? Well, we changed shape. So why would children want those, right? So the logic here is it's just ridiculous. And then you have lollipops, and sometimes I'll say this. So how many, I want you to raise your hand really high if sometime in the last 30 days you have said, you know, I have got to have a lollipop. And you went and bought yourself a lollipop. Raise it up. I want to see it. Oh, none of you? None of you? Maybe, how about in the last 6 months? One guy. You needed a lollipop in the last 6 months. Okay, props. Okay, so these products are made for children. Let's go on. I want you to see a billboard, free dab. If you buy a glass product at a glass store, buy one, get one free on pipes. This is in Lakewood, Colorado. You can't see that too well. Right over the top of Lakewood High School. Now, we called Lakewood High School and we said we want to come talk to the kids about, how marijuana impacts their brain and it's not safe. And they said, no, thank you, we don't have a problem. 1 year later, they called me up and they said, we need you here and we need you bad and we want you to come meet with our principals and staff first. So I went and I sat down with them and they said, our freshman kids are using dabs every day because they get them for $1 down the street at the retail store and we have an epidemic and we don't know what to do. This is a marijuana dispensary in my community. The painted Cookie Monster on the side and his little chocolate chip cookies have marijuana leaves all over them. And then these, if you could see them really clearly, those are 3 brands of Girl Scout cookies with little marijuana leaves on them. Okay, completely attractive to children. Look at these products here for children, all of these. So we're marketing to those little ones. Let's go to the next one. So what do we have now? Colorado Children's Hospital says marijuana ingestion among children under 9 years of age. Look at these numbers. Whoosh, goes straight up. And I want to tell you something about these ingestions. We call them accidental poisonings, is how we refer to them. These can shut down a child's system. They stop breathing on their own. They have to be intubated. We've had at least one child that was unconscious for 4 days.